Colonialism in America has been undeniably destructive, characterized by stolen lands, cultural domination, and murder. The cultures that are colonized are often irreparably damaged, leaving members of said cultures wondering what to do next. Leslie Marmon Silko's Ceremony explores this idea in a Native American context and shows the benefits of accepting cultural hybridity when a given culture is not equipped for its new cultural environment, using the symbol of hybrid cattle, as well as the consequences of not accepting cultural hybridity, using the character of Anti. Within this novel, characters like Auntie work to demonstrate the dangers of rejecting cultural hybridity, in this case favoring assimilation with the dominant culture. Auntie, who is the main character Teo's aunt, takes care of Teo after his mother leaves. However, their relationship is strained at best. When Teo returns from the hospital in a poor mental state, his grandmother suggests that he see a traditional Indian doctor, Kush, to which Auntie replies, "You know what people will say if we ask for a medicine man to help him. Someone will say it's not right. They'll say, 'Don't do it. He's not full blood anyway.' You know what the army doctor said. No Indian medicine. Old Koosh will bring his bag of weeds and dust." Auntie obeys the orders of the white doctors while rejecting more traditional Indian medicine, calling Koosh's tools weeds and dust, words conveying a sense of undesirability or disgust. Here, Auntie functions as a colonial subject, or a colonized person who has been convinced by the colonizer that the colonizer's culture is the superior one. This in turn works against the idea of cultural hybridity, as she instead completely rejects more traditional methods in favor of assimilation, turning instead to white medicine. Auntie's objection to Teo receiving traditional medicine because he is mixed race further shows the harmful nature of rejecting cultural hybridity. Teo is a hybrid character, representing a blend of white and Indian culture without assimilation. However, he is still able to tap into his Indian roots instead of completely rejecting them in order to assimilate with the dominant white culture, shown throughout the novel as he continues to follow Indian traditions, such as when he covers the deer's head after a hunt with Rocky. Auntie claims that it is not right that a mixed-race person receive Indian medicine, showing how she does not believe it right that a blend between Indian and white cultures can exist that can still hold aspects of Indian culture. Because of this, she denies Teo treatment that he may possibly need, in turn threatening his well-being, showing how the rejection of cultural hybridity often leads to significant harm for those who may need it. While characters like Auntie exemplify the harmful nature of rejecting cultural hybridity in favor of assimilation, the symbol of hybrid cattle shows the benefits of accepting cultural hybridity when one culture alone is unfit to cope with the pressures surrounding it. When Teo and his uncles first purchased their cattle, they discussed the types of cows they would breed and raise. They would breed these cattle, special cattle, not the weak, soft Herefords that grew thin and died from eating thistle and burned off cactus during the drought. Here, the Herefords are described as weak and soft, dying easily in the dry conditions. This is further shown later on in the novel when Teo, looking for his hybrid cattle, spots a group of Herefords. Teo rode past white-faced Herefords standing around a windmill. They stared at him and the horse stupidly. He did not expect to find Josiah's cattle near the Herefords because the spotted cattle were so rangy and wild. Here, the only actions of these cattle are standing there by the windmill and staring stupidly at Teo as he approaches, with little other movement, making them seem slow and, indeed, stupid, with little reaction to Teo coming near them. Meanwhile, the spotted hybrid cattle are described as rangy and wild, words indicating a little more activity and a little more liveliness, which would be better suited to surviving in the wild. Earlier in the novel, Teo's uncle Josiah makes the claim that the hybrid cattle would grow up heavy and covered with meat like Herefords, but tough too, like the Mexican cows, able to withstand hard winters and many dry years. Because of their hybridization, Teo's cattle gain both the survivability of Mexican desert cattle and the extra meat of the Herefords. This shows how through hybridizing different cultures, aspects of both can be added together to create something significantly better. This can possibly be more specifically applied to Anglo-American and colonized cultures. The Hereford, or the more dominant beef cow used more often throughout the country, is larger and has more meat, possibly indicating the prosperity of the more dominant white culture, while the Mexican cattle, while having less meat or less prosperity, have much better survivability and can easily adapt to difficult environments with more of the wild freedom associated with Native American culture. When these are brought together harmoniously, it results in an overall more effective culture that is both the meat or the wealth of the white culture while also having the survivability of the native cultures. To conclude, within ceremony, Silko discusses the idea of cultural hybridity, using the symbol of hybrid cattle to show its important benefits, as well as the character of anti to show what comes when one does not accept it. Though some may be opposed to hybridizing their culture, as we have seen, the rejection of cultural hybridity leads to consequences of the health of their given culture, while successful hybridization will result in the growth and development of both cultures, which is all the more important in the increasingly interconnected world that we see today.